Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to what looks like a raucous crowd at the Hobby Center for the Performing Arts. As this is
the following
only
contest
strong survive
is a
one night
championship
tournament.
first round match. Making his way to the ring from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, the superstar.
I'm sorry, I had to advise myself that there is a ring announcer present other than me. But still, as you can see right now, this is the one night only tournament. Only the strong survive tournament. We got Gacy in the ring representing the Honor Division. 220 pounds from the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. And this is pretty much of a weird blend tournament.
And his opponent from Dallas, Texas, weighing in at 214 pounds, Aaron
214 pounds, as the announcer said. It's Aaron Spector, a member of the Anarchists. Now keep in mind, with these competitors, Gacy is 3-1. Aaron Spector, who will have the home state advantage, is 6-0. As this is obviously gonna be under Ronin Pro rules, which, if you've been watching Ronin Pro as of late, you would know that there is no pinfalls when it comes down to any of their matches. So you won't hear me say 2 and 99% whenever it comes down to a pinfall attempt. Either way, here we go, match underway. And by the way, I just wanted to remind y'all, my name is Chris Gary. You can follow me on Twitter at ChrisGary92. I am the commentator for the XGWL. I'm one of the commentators for Extreme Wrestling Entertainment. Ooh-hoo! As Aaron Spector just tossed Joe Gacy off those steel cables. But still, my resume, XGWL, Extreme Wrestling Entertainment, Mutatron Wrestling Entertainment. Nice DDT off of Nice DDT off of Aaron Spector by Joe Gacy. And while I'm not, nice deadlift powerbomb as a cover one. And I guess you can throw the regular Ronin Pro rules out the window. I guess this is gonna be pinfall or submission only, because normally Ronin Pro rules. Ooh, and as we see, a nice little exchange of strikes by Aaron Spector. He's just mollywopping Gacy in the corner. But I had to refrain myself a bit. Ronin Pro rules, normally it's knockout or submission. In this tournament, in this one night format, it's pinfall or submission only. As we see right now, both of these two men are on the offensive. Aaron Spector is in the black get-up with the tattered gear. Nice running bulldog. Gacy is in the white, red, and black singlet. Spector gets a 0 count. And I mean, my goodness, I'm a fan of Ronin Pro. Obviously, this is the first time anybody has commentated a Ronin Pro show. Oh, nice suplex by nice suplex by Gacy. I don't want to confuse with another man with the last name of Gacy, but still, this is the first time anybody has commentated a Ronin Pro event, and I feel more than honored to do something like this, to commentate a show as unique as this with the one night only tournament format. Tiger suplex by Gacy. As Gacy is looking to take total control of this contest. As of course, the winner of this tournament will go on to, nice diving bulldog off the top rope by Aaron Spector. Cover one and only. But the winner of this tournament, might I add, will not only get their bragging rights, but will also receive a championship opportunity. Nice straight punch to the jaw by Gacy, but Aaron Spector counters. Aaron Spector immediately gets back up off that nice little right hand. And now he's taunting for good measure. But then again, anarchy is the key to victory, and of course you know the rest. And a running knee by Gacy. I think this could all be over as he's just trying to snap the little ligaments in Aaron Spector's arm. Aaron Spector counters with a nice little hook. Gacy counters with a nice clothesline. And I mean, you have to think these two men, they know what's at stake. Only the strong survive. The strongest one that comes out at the end of this one-night tournament will get a championship opportunity of their choosing. Woo! Nice bulldog by Spector, but Gacy counters. As Spector counters. Well, actually, this match is so back and forth that, you know, I can barely keep up with it. Oh! And Gacy with an inverted armbar. He's trying to basically make Aaron Spector submit and put that one on his record. But Spector counters painfully, might I add. But Gacy is trying to keep the punishment on. Inverted neck breaker by Gacy to Aaron Spector. And now I think Gacy just might be setting up the end running knee. And I think that could do it. Cover. Come on, rep, do your job. 1, 2, no. 2 at 99%. I mean, both of these men have just been destroying one another for the entire duration of this contest. Oh, Saito suplex by Gacy. And he's got that bruiserweight type of style, that attitude. But Spector, he's an anarchist. And of course, if you know from other travels, running clothesline by Gacy. But if you know the anarchist, you know that anarchy is the key to victory. And it's what Sherman Sampson preaches. And if they don't get what they want, they get peeved, so to speak. Because right now, Gacy is countering. Ashley is a counter fest. Gacy countering Spencer, running knee to the skull. As Gacy is looking to end this night quickly. But Spector tries to counter. Gacy putting him in a headlock. Gacy, oh no, suplex. Actually, T-bone Northern-like suplex by Aaron Spector. I think this could do it. No, 2 count only. But Spector has the momentum turned in his favor. And all it could take is one hit. One little set move. Oh, double arm DDT. And we got our first bleed of the evening. Cover 1. Cover 2. That's it. Aaron Spector moves on to the semifinals. As this is an 8-man tournament, and this is only match 1 of this tournament. As Spector, representing the Grand Champion division, defeats the honor participant, Gacy. And you know, it's kind of weird to me that this type of match would kick off a tournament such as this, considering the fact that, you know, these were 2 different styles, and as they say, styles make fights. And this was a pretty stylistic matchup, but Spector just shown that his style, his Grand Champion physique, was a lot more honorable, quote unquote, pun intended, than Gacy. And now he's moving on, awaiting his semifinal opponent, whomever that may be. We'll probably know a little bit more about, you know, the tournament field once it gets on. Once it gets going.
Here is your winner, Aaron Spector.
As, of course, the ring announcer reminds us who the winner is. Aaron Spector celebrating as we move on to the next contest of the evening. But what a damn good way to kick the show off, isn't it? And of course, Aaron Spector celebrating, still in the ring. as we await who will be next in this tournament. On to match number 2 as this one-night tournament continues. This is quarterfinal number 2 of this tournament as we see the Playmaker, the head honcho of the Extreme Global Wrestling League, make his way to the ring. That is, oh by the way, Xtreme Tony, my boss from the Extreme Global Wrestling League, of course. He's currently 4-2 overall, 3 wins via submission, 1 TKO. And I mean, of course, this man is synonymous with virtual wrestling. If you've seen his accomplishments in other promotions around the world, like the CCL, like the XGWL, his home promotion, like even new NAW. I mean, basically, this man has been just about everywhere in the world of virtual wrestling. And wherever he's went, he's given a whole hell of a lot of love back. But this 5'10", 248-pound legend is going to be facing off against somebody who will probably give him more respect than the division he represents. Did I forget to mention that Xtreme Tony's from San Diego? I forgot to mention that. As we see right now, this individual, the final boss, 5-2 overall,
from parts unknown,
representing the Courage division.
At 327 pounds, the Superstar. 27 pounds.
Of course, he's going to come in with a sizable weight advantage, as our ring announcer just mentioned, that he weighs in at about 330. And compare it to Xtreme Tony's 250. That's a good 80-pound weight advantage for this person right here. For this freak of nature, so to speak. But this freak of nature has been getting a lot of things done in the Courage division. So far, 5-2 overall, he is he's nobody to sneeze at. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? And the point is, when it comes down to this contest, standard rules, as was in the first quarterfinal, apply. Pinfall submission only. No time limits, much like the rest. I mean, no time limits, at least for the quarterfinals as far as I know. Normally, on Pro rules, you have the time limit. Matches in via pinfall, matches in via knockout and submission. Running DDT by the final boss. As the final boss is just in control of the Playmaker early. Xtreme Tony trying to fight back. Xtreme Tony, but no, he's not trying to. He was trying to go for a suplex. Instead, he got tossed out of his shoes by the final boss. As the final boss is just working on Playmaker Xtreme Tony a little early. Oh, and he just tossed him like a sack of potatoes, and he is trying to end this match early and go on and move to the second round. Oh, running clothesline by the final boss. But why ain't he going for the pin? Or why ain't he trying to make him submit? I don't know. I'm not the one wearing the mask like he is. Instead, Focal Bomb City. Sorry, Xtreme Tony. Everybody gets one. Cover from the final boss. Cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. And that is it, just like that. Xtreme Tony is gone. The final boss immediately, and in impressive fashion, moves on. So the Respect Division participant Xtreme Tony is out, and the Courage Division participant, the final boss, I don't know what to make of that performance. But if it was, if the rest of his opponents are going to be falling down as quick as
the Superstar
Xtreme Tony had, it's gonna be an easy night for the final boss. Let's just be real. Your winner, moving on to the semifinals, the final boss. As we got 2 more quarterfinal matches to please your palates, so to speak. And of course, the final boss just might be facing off against Spector in the next round. On to quarterfinal number 3 of this Only the Strong Survive One Night
The
tournament.
following contest is a championship
one half of the mechanics
first round match. Making his way to
with a
the
tag team
ring
record
from Dover, Delaware,
5-2.
weighing in at 411 pounds, the Mechanic.
Again, the Mechanic, one of the tag team participants in this tournament, representing the Fixers. From Dover, Delaware, he weighs in at 411 pounds, as our ring announcer just said. But this will be his first singles match, surprisingly, as he and his tag team partner, the Fixer, he and his tag team partner, the Doctor, representing the Fixers, do have a 5-2 tag team record, or 6-2. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to the graphic all that much. But here's his opponent.
And his opponent,
let's learn a little
from
bit more
Oklahoma
about him.
City, Oklahoma, weighing in at
As Randy Hammond makes his way to the
321
ring.
pounds, the Hammer, Randy Hammond. Weighing in at 341 pounds, the Hammer, Randy Hammond.
So Randy the Hammer Hammond makes his way to the ring, representing the Strength Division. And even though the Mechanic is a pretty big boy, let's not doubt Randy Hammond for a second. This dude looks like he packed on a few LBs in catering. Not that I would know where catering is in this theater. All I was told was to get in the... All I was just told was get in the booth and don't screw up. Either way, quarterfinal number 3 is on and happening. Randy Hammond in the red trunks, the Mechanic in the black with the red knee pads, and a nice running clothesline to start off by the big 411-pound Dover, Delaware Colossus. That's the native of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Randy Hammond counters. And this looks like it's going to be a nice little good old-fashioned hoss battle. Which, of course, isn't this what this tournament is supposed to be about? Styles clashing. Nice slam by the Mechanic as Hammond counters. My goodness. Maybe we're just... Oh, nice neck breaker by Randy Hammond. But maybe we're just missing out on good old hoss matches in virtual wrestling. I'm not sure how many of them are really in stock these days. Oh, and just as I'm saying all that, Randy Hammond counters. Well, actually, Randy Hammond counters the Mechanic. My goodness, this is some crazy action. Oh, suplex by the Mechanic. He nearly tossed him out the ring, but luckily, with all that weight that Randy Hammond has, he was lucky enough to see the middle of the ring. And need I mention, this is some nice design, for this ring. Maybe I might need to contact those for future coffee. I'm not sure. But the point of the matter is, this is some violence personified right now, as both men are now on the outside. As Hammond and the mechanic are going at it. All the referee can do really is count, as normal rules apply here. And both of these men get eliminated via count out. I mean, if both of these men get counted out, that's a double elimination. Who knows what'll happen in the next bout in the semifinals of this tournament. All we know is that both men will not be in it. As both men are now back in the ring, and the mechanic just twisted Randy Hammond's arm. And now Randy Hammond is countering the mechanic. But another college press slam by the mechanic. I mean, for 411 pounds, the mechanic looks pretty damn fit. Oh, and a neck breaker, an inverted neck breaker by Randy Hammond. As Randy Hammond is trying to get back in control of this contest. Atomic drop. Oh, a nice atomic power bomb. Well, down. As Randy Hammond, look at what he's doing here. Randy Hammond. Oh, the Cyclone. Although it's called another more popular move name in another fed elsewhere. Cover 1, cover 2, no, 2 and 99%. By Randy Hammond off that Cyclone facebuster that's known by another more popular move elsewhere. Well, another more popular name, but we're not going to mention that for obvious reasons. Anyways, the mechanic. Oh, just as I said, the mechanic is back in control. Randy Hammond puts him back down again. But the mechanic counters. And now, he just drives him into the ring post. Driving him shoulder first into that steel beam. And that did not feel good. Believe you me, pal. As Randy Hammond counters. Cover 1, cover 2, no. Any closer to the ropes. And Randy Hammond would have had to deal with a rope break. Still, point is, this is a Haas battle if there ever was one right now. And I won't be surprised if these 2 ministers will be looking to, oh, power bomb by the mechanic. That's 1, and that's 2. Could he go for a third one? There he goes. Triple power bomb by the mechanic. Cover 1, cover 2, and that's it. The mechanic, representing the Fixers, gets his first singles win in Ronin Pro and moves on to join Aaron Spector in the final boss in the Only the Strong Survive tournament semifinals. Wow. Haas battle personified. Haas battle. That's all I gotta say about that. And if anything, I'm pretty sure the mechanic would love nothing more than for his Fixers tag team partner, the Doctor, to join him in the semifinals. And the Doctor has Zulite the Great, otherwise known as ZTG, coming up in this final quarterfinal match in just a few short moments. But man, for 2 big men, Randy Hammond and the mechanic really can go. But alas, when it was all said and done after that triple power bomb, the 411-pound Colossus from Dover, Delaware,
here is your winner,
just was too much for the man from Loud City, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. One half of the Fixers moving on. The other half of the Fixers is about to take flight. As next up, in the final quarterfinal bout of this tournament, is the Doctor versus Zulite the Great, a.k.a. ZTG. Our 4th and final quarterfinal to kick off this one-night tournament is pretty much going to be a doozy like the other three.
The following contest
As we see the Doctor,
is a
one half of the
championship
Fixers,
first round
making his way to the ring.
Making his way to the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 364 pounds, Doctor.
Oh, so basically, the Fixers weighing in a total combined weight of about 800 pounds, if you round things out. Still, point of the matter is, this Doctor probably wishes he was on a house call right now, but nah, this big Canadian is going to face off against somebody who calls himself
Washington,
the true hardcore professional wrestler.
5 pounds, the Superstar.
And of course, if you know anything about Zulite the Great from Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, the extreme alternative, this man calls himself not just the coolest, not just the greatest, but the best there is, even though he's currently 1-3 in Ronin Pro competition. And currently ain't really doing much of anything other than, of course, being a wild card, so he got in on a technicality for some reason, but still. Point of the matter is, we got a tag team specialist against somebody who, I guess many people would say, only got in by sheer luck. Oh, and speaking of, the luck just got knocked out of him by the Doctor. House call. And speaking of house calls, I mean, my goodness, look at the size of the man. I would not want to be on the other end of that operating table, suplexed by the Doctor. As Zulite the Great, representing the Courage division, 1-3 overall, he's trying to do his best to fight back, but it's just too much against somebody as big and as tough as the Doctor. I mean, the dude's got a tiger tattoo on his back, for crying out loud. But still, Zulite the Great, ZTG, whatever you want to call him, he's trying to fight back, but it may just be too much for the big man from for the big man from Tacoma, Washington to take. Oh, and a nice backbreaker, and he just got spun like a top in the middle of the ring, and now got dragged in the middle of the ring. Doctor with the cover, only a no count. The Doctor in the teal and black trunks. Zulite the Great in his best Just Incredible impression. A t-shirt with jean shorts and Timberland boots. I hope he didn't hear me say that, but I'm pretty sure a certain competitor in XVPW was just licking his chops, wanting to attack him just for that choice of attire. But still, point of the matter is, Zulite the Great, if he's as extreme as he says he is, he would show some resiliency, which is what he's doing now, what he's trying to do in this match. But the Doctor, as big as he is, he's not going to take no for an answer. He's basically coming in, and much like his tag team partner in the most recent match, the Mechanic, he's trying to pretty much put on a show in this contest. What's the Doctor doing here? Big men, high risk position. Big man, high risk position. This ain't doing too well. And luckily, wisely, the Doctor gets down off that perch. But only for Zulite the Great to give him a reverse DDT. Cover. 1, 2, and no, not even a 2 count, just a 1. And ZTG is trying to hold his own against the Doctor, but it may just be too much for him. I mean, right now, Zulite the Great is looking to ruin anyone! Even a true hardcore pro wrestler can do a Russian leg sweep. Hashtag fact. But that's just my opinion. As the doctor just introduced ZTG to the steel cables. Those ropes are no police. Those ropes are no givers. Oh, speaking of, boot to the skull straight up by the doctor who only gets a 1 count. I mean, my goodness. Oh, trying to go for a super kick instead gets blocked. ZTG running clothesline to the back, and he's trying to signal for the end. As we see, Zulite the Great, the only competitor in this tournament with an under 500 record. The only competitor in this tournament with 1 win is trying to get the win, but no, only gets a 1 count. And he just knees the doctor in the back, gives him a front atomic drop. He's not going to have any little patience anytime soon. As Zulite the Great is trying to fight back, another Russian leg sweep, or as he would probably prefer, a white Russian leg sweep, courtesy of the Sandman. But still, the point of the matter is, Zulite the Great is trying to fight with all his might, but it may just be too much. But he's trying to fight back. He is trying to. But it is just, I mean, these two men are just having a war right now. That's why Rolling Pro promoters keep putting Zulite the Great in these predicaments. That's why Zulite the Great is a wild card in this tournament. Zulite the Great has the big man from Toronto down. Rolling Thunder Senton by Zulite. As ZTG has the big man from T-Dot down. Oh, he's trying to go for a running clothesline. Instead gets denied. Leg lariat, standing leg lariat by the Doc. As the Doc drags ZTG to the middle of the ring cover. Do your job, ref. 1, 2, no. Not even close. He needs to do more damage. And speaking of, I think this might be the damaging blow. Oh, patient zero punch. I think that just might be over. Cover 1, cover 2. Oh, that knockout punch only left ZTG loopy enough just to counter with that kick out. I mean, I'm not really all that good at making puns, especially doctor puns. I mean, for goodness sake, I got a family member who's a neonatal nurse, and I don't know how to do good puns about doctors. But still, ZTG is trying to fight back. Uh-oh, another cyclone? No. Toss into the ropes as the doctor is looking to torment Zulite the Great, but Zulite just keeps finding that way to fight back. Russian leg sweep number 3 by ZTG. As ZTG, he's looking for something in his arsenal. Super kick, and he got all of it. But is it enough to get the win? No. 2 count. And no matter what you think of Zulite the Great, you gotta give credit where credit is due. This dude is tough. But the doctor, he's trying to prove just how big of a dog he is, and despite how big of a cat he is, ready to pounce. I mean, he's been pouncing on ZTG since the early going, aside from a few times where he's let the match take over, where he's let the momentum get the better of him cover. No, he actually reversal. Do your job, ref. 1, 2, no. Zulite the Great with every little step. Oh, drop kick by ZTG. But Zulite the Great with every little step that he's had in this match. Uranagi backbreaker. And a leg drop for good measure by ZTG. You gotta give ZTG credit. even though he just got tossed out on his own free will. And now he's about to get dove on by the Doctor. He's still showing some fight in this contest. Oh! And speaking of, these two men are on the outside. And who knows what type of havoc they could bring. As right now, of course, 10 count rules apply. Drop kick by ZTG, knocking the Doc down. As the Doc gets thrown back in the ring by ZTG, credit to him, he has a lot of heart. He has a lot of huevos just to be in this match. Just to be in this ring. Oh no, just as I say that. Oh, a nice little fall away slam by the Doc, but ZTG counters. ZTG trying to show some fight, but it may just be too little too late. As the Doctor is looking to find every little way to win this contest. Zulite getting just manhandled here. Now he's being introduced to the ropes. That bald head plus those turnbuckle pads ain't really a good combination. I'm just saying, cover 1, cover 2, cover no. And I think, as I keep saying, do more damage. I think all somebody really needs in this match is one big move. Just like that brainbuster suplex by the Doctor. One big move can change the momentum of this contest. And I think ZTG just might have it in him. No, not even close. Oh, but the Doctor, he might need to make a house call back to the pad. Oh, the Doctor just threw ZTG out of the ring again. I mean, my goodness. This match is just completely crazy. I won't be surprised. I mean, yeah, only one man has to survive in this. If both men don't get back in the ring, no men. With no man in this match will be moving on from this tournament. I mean, we'll be moving on to the semifinals. It's just crazy, this match. I mean, it's just crazy how this match has been. And oh, it seems like the Doc is busted open. And oh my goodness. Credit to both men. They're putting on a hell of a contest. And I'm surprised ZTG ain't busted open in this contest right now either. As the Doc tries to do a little touch that may cost him. Uranagi backbreaker by ZTG. And I think this might be the beginning of the end for one half of the Fixers. Cover 1, cover 2, cover no. 2 and 99%, 2 and 15, 16, 2 and 3/4. Whatever you want to call it, ZTG got balls. And I'm sorry for saying that. Y'all don't want me saying it. Awful leg lariat, my God. But I'm sorry for my poor choice in words. I mean, I'm trying to be a commentator. I normally curse like a sailor in my other gigs. But I can't really get through the excitement of this match without letting that extra flyer to neckbreaker by ZTG. And this one might spell the end for the Doctor. The end for the Fixers in this tournament. Off that super kick. 1, 2. ZTG moves on and gets his second win in Ronin Pro competition to move on to the semi-finals of this tournament, joining Aaron Spector, the Doctor's Mechanics tag team partner. The Doctor's Fixers tag team partner, the Mechanic, and the final boss. So we got our semi-final set after this amazing contest between these two competitors. Zulite the Great just proved that he was very resilient in this contest, and although the Doctor shown that he was dominant, Zulite the Great just had every move of his Every move of the doctor.
Here is your winner, the
pretty much
superstar.
Scouted. And that's why, love him or hate him, you just gotta respect him. Semifinals up next, folks.